Last night on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, Jon Clark from Madison Southern joined us to discuss his decision to step down as the Eagles head coach after 11 years at the helm.
It's kind of twofold. We've started a business venture during COVID that put us into storage units, and it's growing really rapidly. We'll have 5 facilities by next May now, and it's really become a full-time investment and job for me. That's part of it. The other part is I'm just a goal-oriented person, and I've been thinking about it for a while just because, when I took the job, I made a list of 10 things I wanted to do, 10 things that needed to happen to build the program, 10 goals that I had, and really have kind of set back lately and realized, like, we've done everything I came to do. And I think it's time for a new chapter for me. And I don't think it's a bad thing for the school right now either. I think it's a good time for some change there as well.
One of the many reasons the coach made this decision was seeing what COVID had done not only to the kids in his program, but those who forgot what it was like to come out and cheer on the Eagles on Friday nights.
COVID has affected the kids. I mean, I'll tell you right now it has. I mean, we send them home and tell them don't be around each other, don't touch each other. Yeah. We don't hold them accountable at a high standard across the board for a year and a half, and then all of a sudden we think they're just going to flip a switch and be accountable and dedicated and everything again. And it's going to take a while to get kids out of that. And that's not just at Madison Southern. I've talked to buddies I have all over the country. They're doing the same thing. Yeah. And other coaches in the building are doing it. Like, it's everywhere. So that was frustrating. I think, there's some traditions we'd carried that I realized our kids in our school, I think, have forgotten in just a year and a half because of COVID. Yeah. And there's very much a feel like this season I was feeling like I'm having to rebuild things that we already did. And I don't want to do that right now. Like, I'm just not at the point in my career where I want to reteach everybody that's there at 6 o'clock at a tailgate, hey, y'all just missed Eagle Walk, but there's 40 of you in the building eating hot dogs.
Yeah. Many players took to social media to honor Coach Clark as he makes this decision. And Coach talked about some of the ones who he remains close with today.
Gosh, man, I've been so blessed with relationships with young men. And I think this is a part that, unless you're me, nobody gets that piece. Nobody gets to see what I've got to experience. Yeah. I've talked to so many of these guys. Like, Tobias was one of the first to know. I mean, he's like a son to me. Yeah. We talk like every other day, and I'm in the car. We talk for an hour while I'm driving. It just, he's like the only one I trust to dog sit for me. I mean, he's an awesome kid. But Trey and I are close. I mean, you mentioned so many kids there that I'm still very, very close with. And
there's probably many more we're leaving out.
Yeah, I mean, Spencer Stone is one that was around early on. We've stayed very close, and Clayton Barnes. There's so many names. Justice Williams. There's some great players on that list.
You think 11 years ago? I mean, I know.
Yeah.
There's some that came back to be a part of the coaching staff, right?
Yeah, I was going to say too is the first 2 I talked to about this was Buddy Harrison and Jordan Castile. Buddy is on staff with us right now. Jordan is a young student assistant coach that we're kind of grooming and working with. And I let them know right away because they're there with me every day.
Yeah. One thing that always gets lost when thinking about head coaches is their spouse. Coach Clark says he wouldn't even have been here today if it wasn't for his wife, Erica.
I mean, first off, I wouldn't be here. I mean, I stayed because I fell in love, and we have an amazing family.
You'd have left us a long time.
I mean, I just had different ambitions in my head. But meeting her changed everything for me. Gosh, like, how blessed have I been? She's been so supportive. I mean, people send my wife messages on Facebook saying, does the coach know this answer? Like, why do people do that? Like, that's the stuff a coach's wife deals with. Yeah. My wife doesn't know what's going on with the football program.
Right.
She's like every other parent that – I got to send her the calendar just like everybody else because we're never crossing paths but 5 a.m.
Right.
If you missed any of the complete interview from the show last night, you can go back and watch it in its entirety on the Wbontv Facebook or YouTube channels. For Wbontv Sports, I'm Michael Watkins.